Let's begin with an empty scene in Blender 2.8. For this tutorial, please be sure to have the Add Mesh Extra Objects enabled in your add-ons preferences. Shift A to bring up the Add menu. Go to Mesh, Math Function, Regular Solid. In the Regular Solids option menu, change the source to icosahedron. Change vertex truncation to 0.4 and edge truncation to 1.0. Press Tab to enter Edit mode. With everything selected, press X, then choose Limited Dissolve from the Delete menu. Press 3 on the keyboard to enter Face Select mode. Select one of the triangle polygons, Shift G, Polygon Sides. Press X and choose Faces from the Delete list. Press 2 on the keyboard to enter Edge Select mode. Select one of the edges on one of the long rectangular polygons. Shift G, then choose Length from the options. Control E to bring up the Edge menu. Choose Subdivide from the list of options. Change the number of cuts to 10, then press Enter on the keyboard. Change the transform orientation to normal. Change the pivot center to individual origins. Then press O on the keyboard to enable proportional editing. Press 3 for Face Select mode, then choose one of the pentagonal polygons on the model. Shift G for Select Similar, then Polygon Sides from the list. Enable rotation by pressing R, then Z on the keyboard. Then adjust the proportion radius with the scroll wheel on your mouse until the size is all the way to the maximum limit of 1000. Type the value 230 with your keyboard for rotation angle. Then click your mouse button to drop the tool. You can verify the values in the rotation menu at the lower left portion of your screen. With the pentagonal faces still selected, press I for the Inset tool, then pull a small inset value into the selected polygons as shown. Now press Ctrl F for the Face menu. Select Poke Faces from the list. Examine the object carefully. If you've done everything correct up to this point, you shouldn't find any intersecting edges or overlapping geometry on the model. Once you're satisfied the result is correct, add a Solidify and Subdivision Surface modifier to the object. If you increase the sub-D iterations a few times, you'll quickly notice some artifacts in the areas where edges are spaced out far apart. Temporarily turn off the Display modifier in Viewport button on each of our modifiers. Press 2 for Edge mode, then select any of the border edges on one of the long rectangular faces. Now press Shift G for Select Similar and choose Length from the option list. Ctrl E for the Edge menu, then choose Subdivide. Change the number of cuts once again to 10, but this time leave the selection active. Turn the modifier displays back on for both modifiers. Now increase the solidify thickness. Then change the inner and outer crease parameters to around 0.8. Check the boxes for even thickness and high quality normals as well. Take a closer look around your model. You may notice some issues with the solidify modifier, especially in the corners around the bended edges. Play around with the thickness parameter until these clear up or you're satisfied that you've minimized the artifacting in those areas. Upon closer inspection, you may find the solidify modifier has caused some other problems like intersecting geometry. Lowering the thickness value could solve the issue to some degree, but it may not be enough and may not be useful if you wish to 3D print the object later. Since we still have those longer inner edges active, we could try scaling up the model to help correct the intersections. Change the transform orientation back to global and the pivot center to median point. Press S on the keyboard and slowly scale up the object. You should notice the intersecting geometry begin to separate from itself. This will not have a big impact on the thickness of the edges, but will obviously increase the overall volume of the model. You could also tweak the solidified thickness while you play around with the object's scale until you're satisfied that the intersections have been eliminated. Once you're happy with the result, exit edit mode. Now you can increase the subdivision surface iterations for both render and viewport to your own tastes. I would recommend no less than 4 viewport iterations if you plan to export for 3D printing or rendering in an outside software package. Optionally, you could quickly add a simple principled shader to the object and give it a metallic surface. In the LookDev display mode, you could examine the surface to be sure it's as smooth as you want it to be. That concludes this lesson for Blender 2.8. As always, thank you very much for watching, and please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you can be notified when new content has been added.